We are glad you have made NTV your #1 station, and we are very grateful and thankful that you have made NTV People's Parliament your favorite program. Of course, this is the only program in this country that gives wananchi an opportunity to speak about issues that affect their everyday life. Tonight, we are in Karamoja, yet to give the people of Moroto a platform to speak about land matters. Land question is a very big problem in this country. It is not only limited to Karamoja or Moroto district, but throughout the country, there are big problems. So we are going to talk about land. I am your speaker, Agnes Nandutu. Mata tunga. Mata ya. Aranyong Nakalong. Thank you for coming to NTV People's Parliament. Ejakaunt Law People's Parliament. I'm very happy that you are part of this parliament. You know we are going to speak about very important topic, and that is about our land. We want to know the rights. We want to know our land rights. Okay? But before I get the ball rolling, I want to give an opportunity to our partner to give us a preamble of why we are in Moroto, Karamoja and Moroto in particular. Please, Honorable Member, you're welcome.
Allow me to thank you for coming to Moroto today and for this week's activities. And welcome very much to today's People's Parliament. On the 3rd of May, our region woke up to the news that government is making a move to abolish pastoralism. And our region's census have detected more activity in government cycles since then, corroborating on what we otherwise thought were misguided or even misquoted statements. These statements are worrisome, honorable members. Our region's survival for decades has been on mainly agro-pastoralist forms of livestock production, and of course, sorghum, produced where and when favorable. At the moment, our livestock ownership in the region is at 54%.
54%?
Yes, Madam Speaker. And these numbers are set to increase if only government can protect, secure, and enable pastoralist means of production. An initial way to do this is by passing the rangelands policy, which has taken over 6 years, gathering dust in the cabinets of Uganda's government.
Have you been pushing for it as Karamoja?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Yet our struggles over the survival of pastoralism seem to stem from problems related to tenure of Karamoja's lands. Since the end of disarmament in 2010, there have arisen major land conflicts in the region, caused primarily by speculators in the mining industry, interests in Karamoja's lands for cultivation, especially rangelands. These land issues stem from the failure of legislation to hit the mark between formal state policy and what is traditionally and culturally feasible and appropriate. The biggest post-disarmament problem definitely stems from the mining sector, where on average around 60% of Karamoja's lands are concessioned for either exploration, location, or mining licenses. Honorable members, you know the issues, and this platform is expected that we discuss them and find the ways to making sense of existing systems and to solve land conflicts and economic issues pertaining to the security of our region's tenure.
I'll give you another opportunity. I'll give another opportunity. As you know, honorable members, this is a land awareness week. And the reason we are here in Karamoja, in the Moroto region, to ensure that the people know their land rights. You have heard from Karamoja Development Forum. Now we want to hear from the Minister of Lands. At least there is government here. What have they done, or what are they doing to address the concerns of the people of Karamoja, mostly on land? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, my name's Dennis Obo from the Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development. In Karamoja, we do know that most of the land here is customarily owned. The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the tenure system, I think the customary tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution. Now, you can also register your land in any of the other tenure systems. That's why in Karamoja today, we have the customary land, most of which is not registered, but we also do have freehold certificates of title which have been issued, and leaseholds, about 91 leaseholds and 365 freehold titles. These titles have been issued with approval of the various district land boards on recommendation by the area land committees. Now, the 10-point program of the NRM did provide for a commitment to resolve the errors that the Karamojong people suffered. And on this basis, we were supposed actually to provide for the Karamojong people service delivery to reach them in order for them to benefit from these services and register their lands, whether freeholds, whether customary, whatever tenure they wanted to. Now, there may have been land grabbing taking place for the rangelands. And this is because I think most of these lands have not been settled. So district land boards wrongly believe that because they do not have people on them, the land belonged to no person or no authority, and therefore in error issued legal documentation.
So the district land board have been issuing titles on people's land?
On recommendation of the area land committees.
Isn't that theft?
Well, I think they may not have...
Honorable members, isn't that theft? That you find land and that's issued a title?
Good enough, the government in 2010 did provide an amendment that where such titles are discovered, they shall be nullified. Okay. So we still have a ray of hope.
So somebody whose land was illegally given out can go, where can they go?
To courts of law, petition, and have those titles
but remember,
nullified.
The people who have taken that land have a lot of money.
Well, the courts of law, I believe, listen, are fair and just, and can be able to provide justice.
Now the ball is in your court, honorable members. The government has spoken through the Ministry of Lands, Karamoja Development Fund, the forum has spoken. Now the ball is in your courts.
My name is Philo Ariatuishka and I work with the Ecological Christian Organization. I would like to speak about the land issues that are affecting the Karamojong, especially in the mining sector. And first of all, just to inform this honorable house that the Mining Act review is ongoing, and as such we should take keen interest because it can address some of the issues that we are raising. And but one of the key issues that we want to raise in this house is the issue of access to information. Just like other honorable speakers had noted, that we have our land which is 64% under mining concessions. But who knows this and who are the people? So we really need to demand from the government to give us this information such that we are aware of the people who are holding these exploration licenses on our land. This should be open information and this should come out clearly from the people.
Who is owning this 60% of the land under the mining concession? He can immediately give us information.
Honorable Speaker, there is a very, very big, I think, misunderstanding. If you have a mining license, it doesn't mean you are a landowner.
Okay.
A mining license can never be a land title. The two are not the same. The land title is higher and most important one. And people with mining licenses are supposed to respect the rights of those people they find on the land, regardless of whether their land is registered or not.
So these people are only owning licenses, like mining license and not land?
Yes, mining
Okay.
licenses are used as a basis to evict the genuine owners of land, especially customary land.
Okay.
Again, under the pretext that they do not have any legal documentation and therefore are not the owners of that land.
Then just to also highlight the issues of land degradation in the region that are eminent, that will also, of course, progress along the way where we will not restore our land for livelihoods. How do we ensure that we address that even within the review, the current ongoing review of the Mining Act? That is very important. And of course, we cannot fail to speak about the issue of free, prior and informed consent. Because when these companies are exploring on different lands, landowners are not aware, and we are saying that they should seek this free, prior and informed consent from these communities because they deserve to know.
In the first place, I would like to note that pastoralism is an African way of life, and it's a culture. And this is a fundamental right that cannot be abolished or cannot be abrogated by the state. We therefore think the government should seek more guidance on this, the international instruments that clearly articulate these rights. These are cultural rights. If they want to abolish pastoralism, can they say that agriculture and farming should also be abolished? I think that is not in order. Therefore, I implore government to rethink that, that proposal. My second issue goes in line with what we have been finding in the field. Madam Speaker, right now we have done community dialogues in about 12 locations in the Karamoja sub-region, in Abim, in Napak, in Kabong, in Moroto, and in Kotido. But what is coming out very, very clearly is the issue of lack of awareness on the land rights. Madam Speaker, let me link this to what's happening at national level. At national level, we have been advocating that government should allocate budget for sensitizations at the grassroots. But Madam Speaker, let me inform the honorable members that for the last 3 years, the Ministry of Lands has never had budget lines for sensitization. And the ministry can testify here. Now, if the ministry that has the mandate to sensitize and to inform is not doing its role, and the local people are being left at large to languish and to be exploited by the companies coming, by investors that's coming. I see this is where government is not playing a critical part.
Okay.
I therefore call upon the Parliament and government to allocate budget for the Ministry of Lands so that the area land committees are oriented on their roles, are sensitized, and their capacity is built, and the District Land Board and other stakeholders. Finally, allow me to touch the issue of land acquisition. It has come out that in some communities, especially Rupa, there's been an issue of land acquisition where the third division is currently sitting. The locals have reliably informed us that since that installation was made, there was no compensation done for the landowners in Rupa.
Isn't that a disservice to the people of Karamoja or the people of the whole country that you sing about land rights, but there is no sensitization about the land rights?
Honorable Speaker, we are still holding negotiations to try to make sure that those monies, to make sure that we do get money for sensitization.
So currently
But
we don't have money for sensitization.
in the meantime, since we do have our other partners, we have thought it wise to build on this and jointly contribute towards this with our other many partners so that the sensitization can still go ahead and we do provide the land services.
I have some bit of worries here. Moroto, a county called Matheniko in Moroto is bound to disappear to the peripheries.
Why?
This is purely because the Ministry of Lands and the Ministry of Local Governments are playing a dirty game. purely on these grounds. One, we do appreciate the fact that the Moroto municipality has been expanded, and this is what we have been praying for. This municipality has now taken 3/4 of the villages within Matheniko County. Another very worrying and disturbing matter being brought and supported by the Ministry of Local Government is the issue of accepting issues that are reported by few individuals against the will of many. The Minister of Local Government seems to be acting on its own, and this is against the masses. How do you like, for instance, an issue like what happened between between Napak and Katakwi? Instead of coming to seek for the opinion of the Karamoja community, they only upheld the opinions of the land grabbers on the other side. This is a very dangerous move by that particular one ministry. Then when it comes to Ministry of Lands, we have a chronic disease there. Where do these rotten maps come from? These rotten maps, Madam Speaker. These rotten maps, Madam Speaker, have caused a lot of confusion here. Matheniko County is bound to lose face on these grounds. Ministry of Local Government, in conjunction with the Ministry of Lands, have accepted these rotten maps that are being extended every other day.
Okay.
This is a very terrible
Point noted.
move.
Point noted, Honorable Member. Thank you. I will give you another opportunity.
Okay,
thank
thank
you so much for the information. I think you have heard the people of Moroto speaking about their land rights. Let's have a short break, and when we come back, we shall call the Minister of Lands to explain to us what the rotten maps are. Yes, welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, your favorite program, of course, the only program that gives the grassroots person an opportunity to speak about their everyday life and government policies that affect them. Now we are in Karamoja region in its Moroto district discussing about land. Land in Karamoja is a very pertinent issue and something that is touching the people of Karamoja's lives. Before we went for a break, Honorable Member said the Ministry of Lands and Government have brought up rotten maps, and you are extending them and capturing other constituencies without the approval of the people of the land. Please, can you explain, Minister of Lands?
Madam Speaker, my understanding of the word rotten maps was that because they are old, of 1962, before I was born, tattered, and probably in not a good shape, he preferred to call them rotten. The truth is that the maps that are used are the authentic maps which were left behind by our colonial government, whose coordinates and boundaries are provided for in the laws of Uganda, 1994. Anybody can access this information. But I would also request that the Honorable Member, who might also be a customary owner, should leave issues of surveying to my surveyors, who are truthful, professional, and know what to do. They are the ones who determine and translate or interpret the coordinates that are in these government documents.
And they are not actually using rotten maps?
There are no rotten maps.
Okay, thank you.
First and foremost, Madam Speaker, I want to say that in our land, in Abim, it has been abused. Why do I say it so? I want to give an example where the prisoners are in Amita prison. They say the land in Amita is free of charge. Members from there, they can pick, let me say, a horsey of a meter can pick a new markstone and just put, leaving the holy markstone. See how really we are being abused. Our community are not being respected. Why they should use, when we bring
Where
this,
do they get authority to put new markstone?
they just use force to put that markstone without even telling the common person in the society that we are putting this. When people go there to dig, you see them, they are just harassing people, wanted to kill. As per now, we lodge a complaint and we are ready to go with it up to the Parliament of Uganda if Ministry of Land are not really helping us. Madam Speaker, allow me really talked about the issue of cutting down trees in our district, in our land of Abim. You see how really climate change has changed today. And most of us, we depend on agriculture.
Who cuts the trees?
Those who could come from outside within the district, they could come and lodge in our district like people in the bush to cut trees for their charcoals. Then they ferry to Kampala. All the charcoal that they use in our capital city of Uganda is the charcoal from Abim. So many land has been grabbed from Abim. They can buy an acre of 200,000, of 100 shillings, 100,000 from a useless mother. And when we try to complain...
They are not useless mothers, they are just vulnerable mothers.
Yes. Just a mother, they can just go and deceive with 100,000 and they grab a land of 2 acres in Abim district. And the ministry are not doing them, are not helping them. When we lodge a complaint, no one will respond. And today they are calling us to that.
Honorable member, did you come here with your LC5 chairman from Abim? Honorable, what position do you hold in Abim?
Madam Speaker, I'm a male councillor for older persons in Abim District Council. The claims that have been made are very profound, and a number of them need editing. Madam Speaker, I know that when it comes to...
Is there rampant grabbing of land in Abim?
There's a lot of land strife internally, but land grabbers from external are few, except for the intrusion of in-migration from people, especially of Teso origin. They come and they cheaply buy land. And as such, our demographic structure has changed. We are now more of Batesos than a Thur.
My name is Mike Omara, and I'm a lawyer with Anade. We work in Abim as well. Now, about the Amita prison case, I'm handling it personally. We have had several discussions with the district and the communities of Amita. We know that there's a dispute between the prison and the communities. We have taken steps and engaged with the communities of Amita. Recently, we learned that the prison has gotten documents to register this land, and this is a problem again to public institutions. There are disputes between public institutions or establishments and communities around land. Now, we intend to lodge a caveat, maybe next week, so that we stop the registration until we handle the matter of the dispute.
So, but the fact is, people are just grabbing the land, the prison land.
There has been those extensions. I've also confirmed with the district authorities, Madam Speaker.
Okay,
Thank you.
I have heard from the presenters, our people of Karamoja are not ignorant of the land issues. We know our rights, only that we are not protected. Whenever anything happens, nobody comes to rescue. There are many cases and nobody is doing anything. Some investors, others are doing the right thing by doing miners getting land titles. I happened to ask some members of those who have got the land title as investors. The answer they gave was that, you know, we could not access the loan from World Bank minus the land title. without our consent. So that means elsewhere in this country, there are certain things happening like that.
But there was information here that you can have a mining license without a land title.
Yes, that's why I'm saying others have licenses, and those ones are doing the right thing. They're only doing mining. But there are those who have acquired licenses plus mining. Now, the other one is...
They've acquired licenses plus land titles.
Yes.
And what are they doing?
They are doing mining, and at the same time, they have land title. Now, the other one is, I come back to Minister of Lands, Minister of Local Government. You cannot have two parallel lines of coordinates. This line coordinates. The other one is the one known by each and everybody. Who does that? You, on top of that, you go drawing maps which show different boundaries. Where do you want the people of Uganda to go? If this country was not stable and stabilized by this good government, Ugandans would have died over these lands. And if we are not careful, should the Uganda government, security forces relax, people of Uganda will open war on the lands, which we don't want. Now the other one is, how does Minister of Lands accept the land grabbers to come with papers, the papers that are not complete? And even when people have complained, they don't come back. Of course, they could have, the district could have approved through the process which is brought up by the land committee, the area land committees. But if the community complains, whenever the community complains, Minister of Lands should be able to come and rescue.
So there is, in summary, your point is that there is no protection from government.
No.
Thank you. I will give you another opportunity. Let me give it to the lady now, please.
Today, honorable members, we've been bashing the Ministry of Lands, but I'm here to testify that the work which we started in Karamoja, the ministry has supported it, has picked it up, and yesterday in Sidok sub-county of Kabong, members of that community received the communal land association titles, and it was a very happy occasion. Okay. So why am I saying this? I think the laws we've learned this week are there, and they are good. The policies are there, they are good. Honorable members, I want to appeal to us to talk to our people and enforce and get people to actually register their lands.
I would like to provide information that the certificates that were given yesterday at Sidok sub-county, they were not certificates of titles. These are certificates of registration and incorporation of the communal land associations that were formed by the Ministry of Lands with support of Pelham and Oxfam. So it's not a certificate of title, it's a certificate of incorporation of the communal land associations. Thank you.
Okay. So you have given people wrong information that they got titles?
Madam Speaker, I can defend myself. The process of getting certificates of communal land associations begins with that process yesterday.
That's what you should have said.
It's a milestone. I'm sorry for the mistake that I've made, but it's a milestone.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, did I hear well that the whole cabinet is thinking of abolishing pastoralism?
That's the information we have got in this people's parliament.
That is crazy. That is un-African. That is anti-Karamoja. And it is un-Christian. Because we know Jesus as a shepherd. We know Jesus as a shepherd who can leave 99 and go and pursue one. So, Karamoja, are we safe?
Actually, you are not Karamoja without a cow.
Yes. The backbone of our economy is livestock. As we speak, we have very few facilities of water. If somebody is thinking of stationary Karamoja, you should first think of giving us lakes of water. so that we are able to do irrigation and be able to manage the farms. Without that, we are seeing that as monies are far thought with the intent to finish a tribe called Karamoja.
My name is Irau Susan, and I work for Land and Equity Movement in Uganda. I want to agree with the previous speakers that there is land grabbing, especially within the families. The powerful grabbing from the vulnerable. And in the families, of course, the widows are the greatest casualty, especially for those that do not want to be inherited. And so because protection comes from the man, and for women that do not want to be inherited, they are then left vulnerable and are under attack in many communities. We also found that there is a lot of irresponsible land sale now going on. And as Lemu, we have been running a campaign to say, do not sell your land, rent it, and use it for production. Because if you rent your land, you can then get the money that you need to survive, but then you retain the land for future use. We also learned from some of the sub-counties that there is concern around compulsory land acquisition. And in Morita, we received concerns about during the construction of the road to Nakapiripirit, with allegations that some people were not compensated. And going forward with the planned construction of the road to Kotido, and the one coming from Sironko through Namalu to Nakapiripirit, I think it's important that we sensitize the people on the law on compulsory acquisition so that there is no repeat of what happened in the past.
Alota ena ula ena potono tangala india ena nagine tengotunga nya ale matangala india na rai kenye yuko gnyo ngala india na rai kenye jai una tumere anu pangetunga atumere arwaga nakin yuko kini ai ugoni tada kita nyuroba mara muzipika kichenji kidroba ngutole ula ngala india wa arutu to wal kola koloni kola ngi muzukui ba rai kede genete ngichana ngetunga Iken kola meto kara gwe bitara ngagrana kola ngi kolon na ngi mudu gwe petai. Na anka kwang.
Okay, arakara noi, arakara. Please summarize.
Madam Speaker, yes, said of the licensing authority that there is a lot of illegal or fraudulent offers of licenses by the Ministry of Energy. I think it's specifically. I had licenses by the Directorate of Geological Survey and Mines.
Order, honorable members. Let's get
we also talked of the UPDF who are extending the boundaries since 1960s. And it's asking you, what can we do?
The Mzee has made a very, very passionate statement, which was in Karamoja, and you have had the translation. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we shall still hear from the people of Karamoja region. Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Moroto District, chaired by none other than your speaker, Agnes Nandutu, and we are talking about a very pertinent issue of land. As we go through this Land Awareness Week, we want to know and see how to solve the problems of land faced by the Karamoja people. Before I get to police, because there have been a lot of allegations, grabbing of land, extending boundaries without the knowledge of the peasants. I've seen former honorable members here present in the House. Can I give them opportunity, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The conflict of land boundaries, especially sub-counties and counties, or sub-counties and sub-counties. One is prominent one, the one somebody was saying, rotten maps. Yet I think he's talking about the variation of maps. There is 1958, It is 1962. And I do believe 1962 boundaries binds. I need to be corrected there. Then number two, there was also this problem between Teso and Karamoja na Park. It has been there. The Karamoja will know where the elders should be able to give us because they were there. The boundary between Teso and the Park, let's miss Karamoja. Now recently I'm told there was a meeting held between them and Wananchi, and the minister, I'm told, dictated and said this site is supposed to go to Teso. And that's a very serious conflict. Instigated by a government official. And then let us come to the barracks. I do also aware that the Karamoja gave, because they were having problems with the Turkana. So they needed protection from this side. So that's why they agreed. They even wanted to take it first to Nakiloro, but they decided to bring it near here, a place called Logiboboni, where the currently institution lies. So the first, they gave willingly, because they wanted what? Protection and guaranteed security. And that's what they gave. But I think, of course, you know what Amini was. He decided to extend and grab that land from them. But what is appalling, I think there is an issue of surveying land at night when the citizens don't know. And also, that survey of night is very dangerous.
Honorable, people survey land at night in Karamoja.
And that's how the issue of Rupa, his problem came in. Either night or they use, I don't know what time they planted the stones, mark stones. I think that's also prominent. Somebody also said from outside at night. I think there is a conflict of this land and boundaries. The boundaries is talking between the the Mazeniko County and the Pes County.
Okay.
And that is on this side of Rupa.
Okay.
Now, finally, I think we need this demarcation of creating districts, sub-counties, is one of the problems that is creating conflicts among our citizens.
Okay.
And two, the elites, what I call the middlemen. They exploit the ignorance of the people and they deceive them with little, for example, Karamoja Asima bulls, kill them bulls, and eventually tell them to endorse here and there, and their land is gone. So you people, let me put in the channel. They understand. That is the case is with the Kautago's land and the land of Rupa. So we the elites, and even worse with the semi-literate, they exploit and land is gone.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable member from the Ministry of Lands, why do you survey land when people are sleeping? It is from the people that these people survey land at night.
Honorable Madam Speaker, this is a very serious issue.
Yes.
The laws of Uganda are very clear. No survey can take place at night. And if it happens, then that is a security issue which must be reported to the office of the RDC, the GSO, the DC, all must know, and it must be stopped. Those people arrested and taken to courts of law. You are only supposed to survey if you have an instruction to survey, clearly signed off by the representative of the Commission of Surveys and Mapping, which provides for the survey to be done between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Okay.
Please arrest those people and hand them over.
Okay.
For
Mr. DPC, why do you allow land to be surveyed at night? This is a crime. It is a security matter.
I'm not the DPC. I'm the regional police commander.
Oh,
Mount Moroto region.
I'm sorry.
And I cover 5 districts of Moroto, Napak, Nabiratuk, Nakapiripirit, and Amudat. Madam Speaker, to me it's new information, but nevertheless, we shall endeavor to make sure that we investigate on it. It is illegal, it is criminal for surveying to be done at night.
We are in the extractive sector, most especially in Tapach sub-county, where Toro Cement Limited is operating. You find that work of Toro Cement is being done at night, especially exploration. And we don't know whether it is exploration or whereby work begins at night, and in the morning you see the GPS, these things moving. I don't know whether it is called GPS. You find rotating very early at 6. Then the work is being done at night, being escorted by the policemen and the soldiers. And we are not allowed to know what is taking place. And this is not that clear.
Oh, Mr. RPC, have you had information from the people?
Madam Speaker, I think the main point was about surveying land at night. Now, exploration is quite technical and different from surveying. When trucks are carrying marble stones and other minerals and under escort of police officers and army men, it is also totally different. But under normal circumstances, procedurally, if one has got his or her land to be surveyed, he writes to the head of the security committee, district security committee, informing the security committee.
Who are you trying to bring to order? Is it the RPC?
Is it in order for the precurrent speaker at the RPC to openly legalize that the trucks carrying limestone and other minerals should be escorted by the police or the army?
Honorable Member, I think the RPC had another question of surveying at night, and then another question of escorting trucks with police officers, and he was trying to address it. He was in the process of addressing it. Yes. I think let's give him time and see what the answer is going to give us.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Mr. RPC.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm not legalizing the escort of trucks, but I was trying to explain the circumstances under which surveying is done with the consent or with the knowledge of stakeholders. And I had reached at a point whereby I was saying that whoever has got an activity of surveying his or her land informs the relevant stakeholders or authorities. For example, we as security, it is the office of the RDC who is the chairperson of the district security committee.
RDC, this has all happened under your watch, sir. Hiyo ni ungwana.
I think the issue of surveying land at night is criminal. It has not been reported to the authorities, to us. That one, we must not explain it here that is being surveyed. Whoever is surveying land must be reported and would take appropriate action. What I know is all these illegal land titles have come up because when somebody comes, the community tends to seal that person. And they get what they call attendance. You know, there are many attendance lists. They make them to write this attendance list, and then later, it is this attendance list which translates into what? Into the land to be surveyed. That these people have accepted to that their land be surveyed. But in actual sense, as a government, we shall not accept, and we have never witnessed, and they have never reported. This is the problem with our people.
What about
they have never reported, they are only reporting to you now because you are here.
What about the idea of escorting trucks or?
This one is optional because it depends which area and where. If it is exploration, you know, some of these explosives are being administered in conjunction with the forces when they actually having these extractions. So it does not mean that they are escorting. The Moroto is a very peaceful district. As of now, there is no escorts whichever, apart from the RDC can be escorted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members, for being part of this parliament. If you decide to talk about land matters, you can talk about land until the cows come back home. These people have a lot of issues, they have a lot of problems concerning the land in Karamoja. And because of the importance of this topic, we ask that we push it and make a continuation next Saturday. I am your speaker, Agnes Naluto, and I aspire to inspire you before I expire. With powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adhere this House until next Saturday.